Hello, I'm Erin Burke, and I'm the Communications and Events Officer at the Scottish Civic Trust. And I'm here today with Ian from the Cupar Museum and Heritage Centre for our video series on local heritage and civic groups in Scotland. Thank you for joining me today, Ian.
Good morning.
To begin, could you just give me a brief history of your group?
Certainly. We are a registered charity, and we are the local history society for Cupar and the surrounding area of North Fife. The body had existed before becoming a charity as an unincorporated organisation, but we decided we needed to get a constitution, and this allows us to do many things, including setting up the museum I'm now speaking from.
Mm.
We also do a series of talks for our membership, and these are open to the public as well.
Mm-hmm.
These are open to anyone on the last Monday of each month when we are operating these. The museum I'm talking to you from is quite a small property. We are located at Cupar railway station, and this came about by dint of just bumping into somebody on a casual basis, another meeting. He mentioned that this space was available, and we had been looking for accommodation for quite some time.
Mm.
So thanks to ScotRail and various other supporters, the funding was acquired to convert the property I'm now in to become the town museum. This is something people had been shouting for many years, and it was almost inconceivable that the former county town administrative centre for Fife didn't have its own museum. So this is something we achieved as a voluntary group.
Fantastic. So you talked a bit about some of the activities you're currently doing. Do you want to say anything more on that?
Well, every year we create exhibitions for the public to come and see in our museum.
Mm-hmm.
The current series of exhibitions, we generally have one that is telling the story of Cupar. And we, this year, have a very good new exhibit which tells the story of a secret listening station that used to operate outside the town.
Oh.
This was run by the intelligence community, and we were familiar with the people who worked there, but they never talked about what they did. And this operated from Second World War through to 1988. And we've had a lot of feedback on this. And in creating the exhibit, believe it or not, we had a lot of cooperation from Bletchley Park and GCHQ. So it intrigued a lot of people, and now we're trying to tell the story. Otherwise, a recent acquisition that we had was a board giving the prices for passing through one of the toll gates in our area. Back in the days when they were charging people to travel the roads and pay for the upkeep of the roads, there were many toll points around Cupar, an unbelievable amount. This one from Struthers Toll, which is about 6 miles from Cupar, had been in a local farmer's barn for generations. And finally, he was persuaded to part with it and put it in our care. So we're very proud of that. It takes up quite a lot of room, but we're quite happy to have it. And from yesterday, another interesting item, we acquired a quilt that was produced by a local lady back in the 1950s. And this came via a lady who lives in London, who happened to be a granddaughter, and had been in the family for obviously quite a long time. But she decided we were the people to take care of it. So now on display. And one thing I will say about the museum is that if we didn't exist, a lot of items would be lost to the community. So we feel we've got quite an important role to collect and care for items from the community.
Definitely. So it sounds like you have a lot on the go, a lot of very new, interesting acquisitions. Or do you have any plans for the future for your group?
Right. In the coming weeks, we'll be taking part in a community event called Cooper's Big Weekend.
Ooh.
It's the 15th, 16th, and 17th of September. And there's a variety of activities. Specifically, our group will be part of a local heritage and family history day. And a lot of the interested folks will be coming along to that in the Cooper Corn Exchange. We're also hopeful, given that Cooper has a medieval past, to have a reenactment group coming to stage a display of their activities in the local park. That's one of the main things. From time to time, we get involved in celebrating anniversaries, and one of the local village halls has invited us to take part in their 100th anniversary. So we're putting up a display probably in the next weekend, I think it is. So that all takes a bit of time. But one of the key things is community involvement. Next week, I'll be leading a school party around the town. They've been studying some of the medieval past, and I'm pointing out some of the features to them. Many people may not be aware that we had a castle at one time, and it no longer exists. And I've asked the local school to reimagine what this castle might have looked like. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they create and what they come up by way of models or artwork. It's quite exciting to see all that.
So aside from going to the events that you just mentioned, are there other ways that people can get involved and support you? Maybe they can donate.
Certainly, donations of artifacts are very helpful to us. Like many museums, we do have the problem of space and accommodating everything. And we certainly are open to looking for other spaces within the town. And we may cooperate with other groups to achieve that. But that is a long-term thing. I don't see anything happening in the immediate future. We have a website, cooperheritage.org.uk, and people will find ways of approaching us there. We do find volunteers coming to us through that. So if somebody's got skills that they think might be useful to us, we're happy to take them on board. But even people with no experience, happy to have them too, because good friendly faces front of house at the museum are always useful to have and cover our opening hours. And also, funds are terribly important to us. In common with others, we do feel the pinch with the energy costs and general costs around at the moment. So anyone feeling inclined to support us in that way, we greet them with open arms.
Great. Okay, thank you so much for your time today, Ian. It was lovely to talk with you. And I will link your website in the description of the video so that people can head to your website and learn more about you and see how they can get involved. Viewers can also learn more about civic and heritage groups in Scotland and how we support them at the Trust by accessing our YouTube channel, and that's at Scott Civic Trust, and also visiting our website, www.scottishcivictrust.org.uk. So thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Erin. Nice to talk to you.